Ding dong! Welcome to the Character Express. My name is Glitch Demon, and I'll be your conductor on the route of understanding characters. So hand over your ticket, let me snip a few holes, and we'll get on our way. Okay. Give me the ticket. Give me the ticket, and get on the train. Thank fucking God. Okay, and on our way! With the 3.3 release of Honkai Star Rail out, we've received Hyacine, the newest character to our roster. Hyacine is a Wind Remembrance character wwho has a little bit of a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde situation. On one side, you have Hyacine, who is a talented healer, making sure that your allies have more health, regain more health, and are able to cleanse themselves of their debuffs. On the other side, you have her Memo Sprite, little Ika. And while he may look cute and fluffy and adorable as this plushie may show, he is a powerhouse of a damage dealer. Today we're going to be talking about Hyacine's kit, Hyacine's Eidolons, and Hyacine's build to see whether she's worth getting once, worth getting multiple times, or when you get her, how you should go about building her. So, let's get on with the game. Let's move on the track. So, let's get it on. I could do a transitional phrase here. I don't have one. So, yeah. I actually want to start things off with discussing her talent. I know it's not the first thing that's in the list, but I think when it comes to discussing Honkai Star Rail characters in specific, their talent kind of rounds out what their power is. So let's discuss the talent. First Light Heals the World. This talent is actually rather simple. It basically describes Little Ika for a good amount of it. Basically, what it says is that Little Ika starts with 50% of Hyacine's max HP, and when Hyacine or Little Ika heal an ally, Little Ika gains an increase to his damage dealt by up to 88% for 2 turns. And this can stack up to 3 times. This is really cool because it adds in this aspect that not only is she a healer, but she's also a healer with a bit of sub DPS capability. I think that's a really interesting way to go about a healer. The technique really doesn't mean too much to us, so we'll just discuss it right now. Day So Right, Life So Fine basically just says, beginning the next battle, all allies heal 30% of Hyacine's max HP plus 600 points, and also increases the max HP of all allies by 20% for 2 turns. I think that second part is just the better of the two. Like, obviously you get that little tip off of healing. I can't really picture a world in which you need that healing, because in like most end game situations, you're not like going through world after world and you're going to need healing after healing. You're most likely going up to one fight and then being done. I guess if you're in a story situation and you're walking through and you need to get that healing done, or maybe if you're in a divergent world situation where you got a curio that takes away your health or something like that, maybe. But at the same time, like MOC, Pure Fiction, I just don't think that first part is amazing. It's good. It's good. I'm not saying it's not good. For a healing technique, it's great. I think that increasing max HP of all allies, though, is much better. I believe that also includes her, so that buffs up her healing from the get-go. So I think that's just a given technique to use if you have her on your team. Before we continue on with this video, I wanted to bring up a small known fact. I have a small confidence issue. And that's only exacerbated by the fact that I really want to be a VTuber, but I have no idea if you actually like this video or not. Luckily, since 2005, YouTube has had a system to let me know that you like the video or not. And that's by liking and subscribing. Do it. Do it, I won't burn your computer down. Okay, thanks, bye. Let's move on to Little Ika. Little Ika, as with most Memo Sprites, has a bit related to them. First off, there is the Memo Sprite talent. There's Memo Sprite talent. Right, that's how it goes, right? It's Memo Sprite talent. I just should write this down. Some combat. Oh, don't you love it? The YouTuber's doing research mid-video. Whenever a Memo Sprite takes turn, they always utilize their skill. In Little Ika's case, that is Rain Cloud's Time to Go. It deals wind damage equal to up to 22% of the total healing done by Hyacine or Little Ika, and then it cuts that total in half, just to make sure that total can't stack up and up and up and up. That's going to get a lot better when we look at the Eidolons, actually. But along with the skill, we also have the talent, which describes the entirety of that that memo sprite of Little Ika in general. So we have Take Sky to hand, which says that Little Ika has 0 speed, is immune to debuffs, and doesn't actually appear in the action order. So basically, Little Ika is just on field. Little Ika is still able to take hits. Little Ika is still able to be targeted by things, but it doesn't take actions. The cool thing about having Little Ika on the field is when an ally gets injured, Little Ika will drain his own HP in order to heal the injured character. Although, when Hyacine is in the after rain state, which we will talk about in a second, Little Ika immediately takes a turn after Hyacine's action. The aforementioned healing is doubled. That is the healing from allies getting injured as long as Hyacine is in the after rain state. And after Little Ika takes a turn, all continuous effects lose 1 turn. That means buffs, debuffs, and other effects, all of them that are based on time, lose a turn. Which is, I think it's really interesting actually, and could lead to kind of a playstyle where instead of really focusing on damage or healing, you really focus on the fact that you can take away, buffs from, you're basically turning up time, right? So it makes me wonder if you can take a Hyacine, right? And then use their skill, use Little Ika's skill strategically to remove a debuff before a certain character goes. Use Brony to advance her action forward, so in that way, before Firefly goes, Hyacine gets rid of the enemy's resistance to all elements. I don't know. Maybe. I apologize if you hear a fan. I live underneath a fan. Every memo sprite, you have the intro and outro skills, essentially, is what I like to call them. The intro skill for Little Ika is Soar Unto the Sunlight. When summoned, Hyacine gets 15 energy. But if it's the first time that Little Ika's getting summoned, it's 45 energy. And that's really nice because now we're going to be getting that ultimate really fast. The outro skill for Little Ika is Fall, Then Take Wing. When defeated, Hyacine's action is advanced by 30%, meaning Hyacine gets to use her skill a bit faster, summons Little Ika again, getting that energy back. That's like 35 energy from that 1 turn, and suddenly, boom, right? You have your ultimate again. So I think that's really cool. I think that's a really nice little feature about Little Ika, about Hyacine, that she gets just that because that she doesn't really lose too much by losing Little Ika. She just gets to summon it again faster. So going back to Hyacine, let's talk about Hyacine's skill. Hyacine's skill, Love Over the Rainbow. So it's basically 3 important things, right? It summons Little Ika, and also heals up to 8.8% of Hyacine's max HP to all allies, plus a little bit. And then also, if you already have Little Ika on the field, it heals up to 11% of Hyacine's max HP, plus up to 222.5 points to Little Ika. So there's no reason to not use the skill. If you have Little Ika already in the field, you don't get necessarily punished for only being able to use half the ability. Everything about Hyacine's kit is about the ultimate, and I'll explain why that is. She really likes her ultimate for a few purposes. For the most part, the ultimate is just a better version of her skill, but with one added thing. Hyacine enters the after rain state for 3 turns. This after rain state does in fact decrease with every time she takes a turn, but when she's in the after rain state, all allies' max HP increases by up to 33%. So that's really nice, having that extra bit of wiggle room, especially with the fact that we have a bunch of characters who like to hurt themselves. Hyacine really works well with those teams because she wants to give them more HP, she wants to keep them healthy, and she wants to make sure they're healthy all the time due to Ika's ability. Now remember, the ultimate is the thing that gives her the after rain effect. So you're not going to have this right away. But the after rain effect is the thing that says, hey, Little Ika gets to go after Hyacine doing some damage. Little Ika gets to do double healing when people get injured. Like, that's really nice. So you really want to get that ultimate off as fast as possible. Her basic attack is her basic attack. I mean, there's nothing special about the basic attack half the time. Sometimes there's an enhanced basic attack that we talk about. But the most important part of the basic attack is what it scales off of, because that does change some things. I don't know if there's been a basic attack in Honkai Star Rail that has been anything but HP or attack. But Basic attack for Hyacine is up to 55% of Hyacine's max HP at the highest level. To round out her base kit review, we have her 3 talents. Her Ascension 2 talent, Gloomy Grind. Her Ascension 2 talent, Gloomy Grin, says that Hyacine and Lil Ika's crit rate increases by 100%. So crits are guaranteed whenever Hyacine or Lil Ika attack. Same thing as Bronya. And when healing an ally under 50% of Hyacine's max HP, Lil Ika and Hyacine's outgoing healing bonus increases by 25%. That's a nice little feature. While they still care about the entire team, they do give a bit more equal footing to people that have taken a lot of damage. Stormy Caress, the CA4 ability, Hyacine's effector has increased by 50%. And the stronger part of Stormy Caress is whenever she does her skill or ultimate, she cleanses a debuff. So she cleanses a debuff from all allies. That is big. That is, honestly, if that was the end of her talents, I would be happy. That is huge. You no longer, like, that she's better than most cleanses, because most cleanses are targeted. But if you sit there and you're just like, yep, no, this team is going against enemies that are going to debuff my entire team, guess what? Hyacine knocks out of the park. So that's beautiful. But of course, that's not the end of her base kit, because there's one last one. And it's the one that everyone knows. If you talk about Hyacine, everyone knows this one. It's Tempestuous Halt. Tempestuous Halt is the one people really look at because it's the one that really affects how you build her. When Hyacine's speed is at least 200, Hyacine and Lil Ika's max HP increases by 20%. That's already big, because any increase to a healer's max HP is essentially plus 10% to their healing output, right? So their OHB essentially goes up by 10%. But the second part is also insane. Every point of speed over 200 increases outgoing healing by 1% up to 200%. There is a cap, but I don't think the cap really matters when you sit there and say, hey, at the highest possible speed that I want to get Hyacine up to, 400, I don't think that's possible without like DU buffs or all that. At the highest point, you're tripling your outgoing healing boost. You're tripling the healing that you do. I think base kit, she has an amazing kit. I think genuinely she's probably the best healer in the game. She does a good amount of damage. Along with that, her kit is based on giving her and your allies more health, along with making sure that her healing bonus goes up and up, and being able to get that after rain effect up as much as possible. That's my look on her base kit, but let's look at her extended kit. Her Eidolons are all pretty cool. I would say that for a lot of characters, there's like maybe 2 that you really want to pay attention to. I would say that all 4 effect-giving Eidolons in Hyacine's kit are worth paying attention to. For the first one, it's kind of nice. Cradle the Candle of Night. When Hyacine is in After Rain, all allies gain 50% max HP, and after she attacks, immediately heals 8% of Hyacine's max HP. So that's going to be nice to see as well. It's just a nice little top off to what she has, but 2 is where it starts to get crazy. Eidolon 2, come sit in my courtyard, but when an ally loses HP, increases her speed by 30% for 2 turns. That does 2 really good things. It specifically doesn't state action advancing, which technically is the same thing, except when you have Tempestuous Halt. Tempestuous Halt makes it so that action advancing and speed are 2 very different things. With Tempestuous Halt, for 2 turns, you're increasing your healing bonus by 30% as well as your speed. But Eidolon 2 does not read that it doesn't stack. Other things specifically say that they stack. So I don't know. I think it stacks. I think that if you have 4 instances of characters taking damage, Hyacine is increasing your speed by 120%. I mean, I could be wrong. At first I called this the ambulance Eidolon, but then I realized how good it is with Tempestuous Halt. And this is just a really good Eidolon to have, I think. On her rerun, if you're looking to buy into Hyacine, guess what? An E2 Hyacine is pretty goated. E4 is where things get really interesting. Is that really just cool, that strong part of Hyacine's extended kit. Sunlit Amber, yours to keep, enhances Tempestuous Halt. For every 1 speed over 200, not only do you increase your outgoing healing bonus, you also increase Hyacine and Little Ika's crit damage by 2% for each point. So, if you have an E4 Hyacine, at 400 speed, not only are you tripling your healing, you're also getting plus 400% crit damage. I think that's huge. It really cements that like sub DPS in there. Because remember, this is base kit. Her crits are guaranteed. Little Ika's storming off here. Because remember, that triple healing bonus increases that total that you're getting. Your total is getting higher and higher. It might be just 22% that gets taken off for that damage, but you're also quadding that damage. Now be aware that I am using the 200 excess speed for a specific reason. It does run off of Tempestuous Halt. Tempestuous Halt only looks at an excess 200 speed, so that's something to think about. Eidolon number 6 isn't as big as Eidolon number 4, but Eidolon number 6, oh Sky, heed my plea, is just a nice little sprinkle of cheese on top of the pasta, right? If Little Ika is on the field, all allies, all type res pen is increased by 20%. So if Little Ika is on the field, all allies are essentially doing like what, 15-20% more damage, because now they can break through resistances just a lot easier. And then that pool reduction that Little Ika does whenever he takes a turn is only 12% instead of 50. I think that's the best part of that E6. In all honesty, her E's are all worth looking at. I think if you were to choose an E to stop at, I would stop at E4, but E6 is nice to go ahead and get. But to discuss Hyacine's build, I would recommend you go for an outgoing healing bonus shirt and a speed boots. Speed is kind of not even a question with Tempestuous Halt being on the field, but an also outgoing healing bonus because I can't get speed on my shirt. For her sets, I would recommend her best set would be the newest at the time, 4-piece Sun and Thunder. 4-piece Sun and Thunder increases your speed as well as gives just a whole bunch of support to the entire team whenever you or your Memo Sprite do healing, which guess what? Little Ika and Hyacine do a lot of. But if you don't want to go ahead and grind out a 4-piece set, you can always go ahead and grind out a 2x2-piece set, which helps with the speed requirement for Tempestuous Halt. There are 3 speed sets in the game, and if you go ahead and grind 2 Sun and Thunder and then 2, let's say 2 Sacarados, you're going to get that speed requirement a lot faster, as well as be able to fill the rest of your stuff with your substats. Finally, if you don't want to have to grind anything, I would say the best option you have at that point is going to be a 4-piece Passerby set. It's still a good heal set, and more people are likely to have it. If you're going to just want a 4-piece set until you get Sun and Thunder, Passerby is perfectly fine. For ornaments, though, I would recommend just go for a full HP build on there. More HP means more healing, means more damage from Little Ika, means more everything. I'd recommend that you do get speed on almost every piece that you have, so all 6 pieces get you some speed on there, as well as some HP bonus from all your relics. So speed and HP bonus I would recommend, and then crit damage if anything, because again, crit rate is useless because crit rate is guaranteed. For her sets for planar ornaments, I would recommend that you go for Wrapped Brooding. I think that Giant Tree of Wrapped Brooding is her best set. It increases her speed. It also gives a bit of support when healing, so that's just really nice to see. If you don't want to use Wrapped Brooding, you could use the more likely to have set Fleet of the Ageless, which increases her HP, which increases her healing again, and also provides some support. And then you could also throw on Sprightly Von Hawk if you want, which will increase her energy regen rate, meaning she gets her ultimate faster, ultimate more, and she gets the Ika out more and the after rain state more often, as well as it allows Little Ika to get that first summon faster. But I would more turn towards Wrapped Brood, to be honest with you. For her light cone, I would say the best light cone that she has access to is her signature light cone. But for the free-to-play players, Memory Curtain Never Falls is actually kind of a very similar aspect to Long May Rainbows Adorn the Sky. Long May Rainbows Adorn the Sky does 3 very important things. It increases her speed by 18%. On any action that she does, Long May Rainbows Adorn the Sky consumes 1% of all allies' HP and deals damage to the attacked target equal to 250% of the consumed HP. This damage is the type of the wearer's Mem Sprite. On top of that, when the wearer's Mem Sprite uses skill, all enemies damage taken increases by 18% for 2 turns. That's a really nice effect, really cool extra damage, as well as a little bit of debuff for the enemies, an Acheron team, or anyone that uses PDDW as their set. But Memory Curtain Never Fails is kind of just a Hyacine signature light. Memory Curtain Never Falls does 2 important things. It increases the wearer's speed by up to 12%, and after the wearer uses a skill, it increases the damage dealt by all allies by up to 16% for 3 turns. Again, it does essentially do the same thing as Long May Rainbows Adorn the Sky, just not as much, but that's what you're going to get for the free version. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial into Hyacine. I hope this tutorial did you some good. I hope you learned something about Hyacine, and if you don't have Hyacine, I hope it convinced you whether or not to go after Hyacine. Maybe she might be the best option for you, maybe she might not be. Otherwise, my glitches, you have a wonderful day, and happy pulling.